Just doing a test. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Julie.
I cannot see myself though.
We can see you.
Okay, that's weird. I want to see myself to remove my background.
The
Okay.
EIOS background.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Okay. Oh my God. That's my face. Horrible. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. So sorry, we're doing some
Yes, Julie,
sandbox
we have
panic.
started attending the participants, so we already have 41 participants. And we'll start just in a second. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for making time to join us during this session today. My name is Olga Lugovska, and I'm responsible for the engagement and expansion activities for the EIOS initiative. I am part of the EIOS core team that is situated at the WHO Hub for Pandemic and Epidemic Intelligence in Berlin, Germany. We are thrilled to have you here with us today. This is a very exciting and important moment for us, for you, and for the whole initiative. We want to sincerely thank you for joining us in this journey towards EIOS version 2.0. We know this has been long awaited, and we deeply appreciate your commitment and contributions along this way. Today's session will be an overview of what is coming with EIOS version 2.0. We want to make sure that you, the users of the EIOS system and members of the global EIOS initiative, stay well informed, aligned, and feel empowered ahead of the broader rollout. If you have any questions during the webinar, please put them in the chat, and we will do our best to answer those at the end of the session, if time permits. And now, I suggest, without any further ado, let's jump right into this session, and I am more than happy to hand over to my colleague, who I'm sure many of you know for all the great work on sources for the EIOS initiative he is doing. So over to you, Frank.
Thanks a lot, Olga. And good morning to all of you, wherever you're connecting from. Let me just confirm you can all hear me okay?
We can hear you, Frank.
Thanks, Olga. So in today's agenda, we're going to look at the EIOS roadmap and the V2 journey. So as Olga introduced, my name is Frank Agoro. I'm an epidemiologist, and I work at the Berlin Hub as a sources coordinator within the III team. So So in this session, we're going to cover why we have version 2 and the future of the EIOS system. And then we'll look at the main changes in the system, focusing on selected key changes. And as you have all connected, you want to know more about this transition. So we'll take to you how to prepare ahead of the transition, what to do during the transition day and the after. And beyond that, we all know that resources are very important. So we'll also be able to share with you what resources are in place and where to find them. So you're very welcome. And now, in order to realize its goal of zero impact for health threats, the transition to EIOS V2 is stated in the Strategy 2024, which sets the future course of the EIOS initiative. And the objective 1 aims to transform the EIOS system to enhance functionality and sustainability, leveraging advanced research and development. The release of V2 is just one part of that. It marks the first step to a bigger overhaul and modernization of the EIOS system, which includes full re-architecting of the backend of the system to enable the iterative modular development and increase the agility. It will be easier to integrate and collaborate within this system to accelerate innovation and applied research, and more, but not all, to be agile with improvements and the frequent releases. So, but you all know that EIOS is more than a technology. So the transition to V2 also marks a change to the current partnership model and operational transition of the system and the delivery from the European Commission Joint Research Center, JRC, to the current partner, ADAPT, that enables WHO to consolidate oversight while reorienting JRC's future role towards innovation and applied research, which we can all benefit from, in line with its institutional mandate. The next slide. Now, in summary, the release of V2 is a strategic milestone and pivotal step in modernizing the current system, initiating a transition towards more flexible, iterative development aligned with evolving user needs and landscape. It is also just the beginning. If you look at the roadmap in the middle of the slide, we have taken as a whole EIOS community. You as users, you already know why we are doing V2 release and then the iterations. Limitations with V1 in terms of new features, functionality, and the scalability. You all know that time to respond to community needs has been impacted with V1. And also, user report information overload is experienced across communities. And from your feedback, we have enhanced functionality and features with V2, with a system based on current user needs and previous requests. So the more modern architecture for additional integration has been implemented. So as you see that journey with V2, we have a more modern platform with a lot of enhancements. You'll see that there's a new user interface and the user experience, a system that caters to more of your needs of daily work. And in parallel, we have also been able to develop new AI features, including AI summarization, anomaly detection, AI speech to text, and summarization. Following V2, there will be frequent and iterative releases, bug fixes, and minor improvements, which will further enhance the system and help us to collaborate with the community. Next slide. So how did we get here? So this slide aims to show you the phases we have completed. First, on the left side of the slide, you see we gathered the requirement and specification from all stakeholders, as well as developed the system, and we prepared the prototype. We did internal quality assurance, QC, within the EIOS core team. And then we reached out to the majority of you, and some may have joined today, for external QC via the user acceptance testing, and selected users across the global EIOS community of practice contributed to the testing of the new modules and functionalities. We obtained feedback, which we implemented the last fixes and improvements ahead of the rollout. Currently, the team is busy working on documentation and finalizing translations of the first languages, and the interface will be available in V2. And you'll see what is coming ahead is providing webinars just like today, demos and clinics to support the EIOS community of users with the transition ahead of the switch to the new version. So this means EIOS System V2 will be live and ready for use. So for some time, the current version and the new version will both be available to give people time to transition. And after that, the V1 will be available in read-only setting, and hoping the community will be now using V2. Next slide. So what has changed? I think this is what majority of you are eager to see and learn. So the first thing that comes, bam, the interface has a new look and feel, and it has been modernized. The EIOS system is now available in multilingual interface. The first release will be available in 6 languages: English, Arabic, Chinese, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. And new languages will be added as needed through time. So you'll be able to go, click, select, choose your preferred language, and be able to interact with the interface in that. Next slide. And that's not all. When logging into the EIOS system, the new board list page will show all the boards you have access to as owner or as a collaborator. As you can see here on the slide, this is the page that will receive you in the monitoring module. And this will be now a page that has a list of all the boards. And for those who are members of multiple communities, you no longer need to switch between communities. You can now view on the new board list pages of all the boards that you have access to. And not just that, you can also be able to search and filter, which will make it easier for you to look for specific board. And you can also create a new board from boards list by clicking create a new board, which you see on the top right corner of the red box, create a new board. Next slide. And what happens when you do that? So when you are creating or editing a board, you'll be able to add contributors from any communities and define permissions. So this means you can now collaborate on a shared board with teams beyond just your community, making collaboration easier. And when you're going to be able to do this when creating a new board and defining permissions. The top part is the same as in V1, as you can see here, where you define the name of the board, document the purpose, etc. And in the red box, you see here, this new part where you can select and add contributing teams from any communities and define their permissions. In this example, I'm a part of the German public health intelligence community team, and I've created a board for the monitoring of the UEFA. And then I'm adding the whole German community with the rights to view the board's activities and asking RKI team, ECDC mass gathering team, and the WHO Euro team as contributors who can also read, but also pin articles. So this is a shared feature where as a board owner, you can be able to add as multiple teams as you can to be able to define their permissions and accessibility. Next. We know communication is really integral to EIOS usage. So communications and comments are now streamlined as posts and visible on the post tab of each board. Instead of separate sections for sending messages or posting comments on board or articles, each board now has its own posts tab where you can view and manage posts published on this board, making it easier to track discussions and maintain context with other users collaborating on that board. And the next slide. And not just that, the new interface also integrates a revised category filter. And you know from V1, you would not be able to search for a specific category. In V2, you can perform a text search and find a specific category. Now, category labels are also available in multiple languages according to your user interface language selection. And under the new category filter, users can look at the same categories grouped into topic-based folders, such as non-communicable diseases or bacteria, allowing users to add all categories from a single folder to their board. So once one category can be found in multiple folders, and it does not matter the folder from which a category is selected, it will return the same search results. Next slide. Now, we know that also we work as communities or as teams. So the V2 also has an improved new user management. All users can access the user management module, as you can see on the slide. And the community members can view the profile of any community or team and view its members and their profiles. And beyond that, it's also each user can fill their own profile with the info they want to share. So you can actually edit your information, and users from the EIOS can be able to search and be able to read and learn from different communities. It will also be easier for communities to take on their own community management. And next slide. So in summary, top things to know is with the V2, you have a new multilingual interface with a fresh look and an improved experience. You have a landing page which lists all your boards to interact from, which you can search and filter. You have collaborative boards from any community to work collaboratively on your boards. And communication has been improved. So there's improved posts, their email capabilities, and the daily digests. This means you can get a feedback straight into your email of what has happened on your board. There's an improved management so that you can be able to manage your community and teams and the users. And then beyond that, we know we work as a community. So we also are embedding the end user support, dedicated help desk, user guide, and beyond that, a sandbox. Now, this is going to be a very important tool to help you transition. And Olga will tell us more of what is in this sandbox tool. So I'll pass this to my colleague, Olga, to take it from here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Frank. Let's move on. I hope you are very excited as we are here about all the changes that are coming with the new version of the EIOS system. So over the next few slides, we will take you through the different transition activities, the timeline, and go into the details for each of the things that will help you prepare for this transition. So today and tomorrow we have our transition webinars available in different languages. I saw there was a question in the chat regarding the Portuguese session, so there will be a Portuguese session later today. So I hope you all have received links with invitations for all these different sessions in different languages. So after the transition webinar, you will all get access to the sandbox environment. I saw there was also this question in the chat, so more on that in just a second. Then on the 17th of September, we will start with the special clinics that will be from 17th to 23rd. As well, after the clinics, we will initiate the daily drop-in hotline that will be also available in multiple languages. So in English, French, Arabic, Spanish, and Portuguese. As well, you will get access to the improved online user guide and also a dedicated help desk. So let's now go step by step and cover all these different activities. So first is the sandbox environment, and all the users that currently have access to version 1 will be able to log in and explore the system with the sandbox. So you can imagine sandbox as the independent space that will help you get familiarized with the new system and all the enhanced functionalities. So it's like training, test, playground environment that will have basically the same interface as version 2, but will have a limited number of articles. It's also important to mention that all the actions that you will be doing in the sandbox environment, they are temporary. So there will be a regular data cleaning. So all the boards, all the test boards that you will be creating in the sandbox environment, they won't be later transferred to version 2. Next slide. So yes, let's move on. And the next section that we will cover is the help desk. Yes, thanks, Abby. So help desk will also be available from 15th September onwards, so starting from today. And this is the space for you to submit your questions, identify any bugs, and also request any enhancements that you think are essential. So there will be a form directly on the system. So you see on this slide circled in the red, you can click there and access this help desk. Next slide. Yes, so now let's move on with the special clinics that will become available after today's and tomorrow's transition webinars. So during the clinics, you will be able to learn how to use new and improved features effectively. There will be a space for you all to ask questions directly to our expert trainers. And you will also be able to troubleshoot any challenges that you might encounter with the new system in real time. I believe you should all have received the invitations for these clinics as well. But if you missed the email, you can find the links to join the clinics on the clinics page of the user help website. So we will have 4 different sessions of our clinics that will focus on board creation and sharing, using EIOS categories and filters, EIOS communications, and also we will have a special session for our community managers. So most of all, those are the regional focal points. The special session for them will cover the user, community, and teams management. Next slide. So after the clinics, you will be able to attend the daily drop-in hotline that will be available from 24th September to 8th October. This hotline is basically the Microsoft Teams space that you all can drop in whenever you want. So we will be operating from Monday to Friday, starting from 10:30 in the morning, Central European Time Zone. And this will be a space for you to seek clarification, to ask any questions on B2, so basically receive almost one-to-one support. There will be always someone from the EIOS core team to answer all your questions. And also we have a few volunteers who kindly agreed to support us. So members from the global EIOS training team. So we thank those members who will be supporting us during the daily drop-in hotline. Next slide. So now let's talk a little bit about the transition process, so how it all will happen. So first, for the data migration from version 1 to version 2. So good news that all the data that you currently see in version 1, it will be migrated to version 2. So users, community, and team membership will be migrated as you currently see it, as well as board information and filter definition, together with articles and related activities. But for comments and communications, they will be migrated as posts. And then when you transition to version 2 at the end of September, you will only see data from July to September. And then gradually over the following days, all the remaining historical data will be uploaded. So basically all the data from 2017, when the initiative got started, up until June 2025. Next slide. Yeah, and here are some of the key transition dates to keep in mind. So from the 17th to 29th September, so basically right after we complete the series of our transition webinars, EIOS version 1 will continue to be your daily tool for your public health intelligence activities. And then data from 2017 to June 2025 will be temporarily unavailable in version 1. only data from July to September will be available for you in version 1, so in the current version of the system. Then, fingers crossed, everything goes well. On Friday, 26 September, approximately in the late afternoon in the Central European time zone, so Berlin time zone, the transition will commence. And then over that weekend, so basically 27, 28 September, the EIOS system version 1 will be unavailable for some period of time, while the release of version 2 will commence. Then, hopefully everything goes according to the plan. On Monday, 29th of September, when you log in, and that will happen approximately by noon Central European time, you will all be able to log in into version 2.0 as the release will be completed. So hopefully all users will have access to version 2 with current data from July to September. And then, as Frank mentioned, so version 1 will be available again, but as a reference only, so in read-only mode. And then in the days following version 2 release, June 2025 and earlier data, so data from 2017, will be continuously migrating over these coming days. Next slide. So last but not least, let's talk a little bit about this process and what are the activities, actions that we encourage you all to perform to make sure that this transition happens in the most smooth way. So before the release of version 2, from now on, first of all, we encourage you all to attend the transition webinars. For those who are unable to attend, or if today you missed some of the sections of the webinar, we will be sharing with you all recordings, so we encourage you to watch those and share with colleagues also in case someone was not able to attend. You will all be able to access the EIOS sandbox to explore all the new functionalities that Frank was describing. As well, you will all be able to consult the version 2 user guide. And of course, we strongly advise you to attend the special clinics to see the demonstration of all the new features, but also ask any questions that you will have after you start exploring the sandbox environment. And also, it will be important for you to coordinate with your teams and make sure that your standard operating procedures that you currently have in place are updated, considering all the new features that will be available with version 2. Then for board owners, we ask you to close all the unused boards in version 1. So to make sure that only data that is necessary, that is relevant, that is used by you all gets transferred to version 2. And then for community managers, we would also ask you to remove users from your communities that you are managing on version 1 that no longer need access in version 2. Next slide. Once you access version 2, so for all the users, it will be important to review and complete your new user profile. So this is one of the new functionalities that will be available in version 2. As I mentioned, rewatch the recordings from the webinars as well as clinics, and really make use of the daily drop-in hotline in case you have any questions, any doubts, and would like to seek any clarifications. For the board owners, we would ask you to review board ownership and also add contributors to your board as needed. So Frank was describing this new functionality that will be also available in the version 2 that we are all we were very much anticipating this. So finally, this will be available for you all in version 2. And finally, check and clean up the board's filters as required. And then for the community managers, there will be also new functionality, and we encourage you to complete the profile for your community, as well as review existing teams or create new teams as will be needed. So with this, I believe we have completed our slide deck, our presentation. Thank you all for your attention, and I believe now we have some time for the Q&A. So for this, I would ask my colleague Julie, who has been super instrumental and has been one of the main brains behind this transition process, to help me with the chat and let us know if there are any questions in the chat that require the answer. I see a lot of congratulations and thanks. Yes, over to you, Julie.
Thanks. I think some of the questions were quite easy to answer. So really, indeed, there will be a period during the transition where there will be no access to either version, but we will make our best to make this the shortest possible. And as soon as it's back, we will message to say that the system is live, and this will happen over the weekend. It was chosen at a moment where we saw that the activity was at the lowest. And yes, there will still be the personal board function. You have the choice again to choose personal or shared. And this is when you choose shared, that you have the opportunity to tailor which team from which community can do what. And that's going to be a really great improvement. And I think most of the questions were answered. I don't know. I'd see someone has a raised hand. You could please ask your question either, I don't know if we can give access or in the chat.
Need to unmute.
Yes, we should be able to unmute, and I saw the hand has been dropped.
Yes, I don't see a hand anymore as well. So if you could please raise your hand again so we can try to unmute you and give you a possibility. Yes, thanks. We saw it now. So yes.
Yes, so good. Here is good afternoon. So probably good morning in Germany, Berlin. So I'm Dipesh Thabit from Nepal. So my question is, since we are integrating EIOS in the SORMA system through API, and since in version 2 we are migrating database, I think, then how it will affect the integration? Will there be a new API, or it will work in the API, the existing API itself? Over from my side.
Thanks. I think you probably have received a communication. If not, let's contact us. We've been following up on each API individually to reset, to make sure that everything is set up properly for the transition to V2. So if we have not contacted you, we'll follow up. I have your name now, but you can also drop us a message. We will work with you to make sure that everything works in the next version.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jody.
I think we have another hand raised as well. So let's try. Yes, I think it works.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for the great presentation. I'm Gigi from WHO Emerald. I have one question. So I think I saw something mentioned about AI semantic search on the roadmap. Could you perhaps elaborate on more of the feature or the concept?
Yes,
Thank you.
Ioannis, I see that you are here. I don't know if he's made,
Maybe I can elaborate a bit.
okay, please go ahead.
No problem. So Johannes is joining, so I can start and then Johannes can add. So with the semantic search, you can be able to query the EIOS repository, and that will help you to get the themes or the semantics behind your search. So this will really streamline with an AI-powered search to get all the relevant results of what you are querying the EIOS database. But I'll pass it to Johannes, as he has been working on this for quite some time. Johannes. We cannot hear you.
Not sure we can hear you, Johannes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot for participating in this call. That's great to see all the interest. For this question, yeah, we have more features which are AR-powered features in the pipeline. So for the sandbox, they are not exposed yet, but with a V2 release, we have different features. One is a summarization, which Olga has mentioned. And like Frank just mentioned, we will have the possibility to use also natural language, like your prompts you use for ChatGPT to look into information in the EIOS system. And we will have more and more features we will add over the time to the EIOS system going forward. So hopefully this will be helpful for you to get more insights from the information from EIOS articles.
Thank you. Looking forward to the new updates.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I also see in the chat that people cannot access the
Yeah,
link.
now I've given the complete link. Sorry for it was missing the end of the handle, and I've put the new link. I will post it again, and now it works.
Yes, I see the confirmation in the chat from Chen Hong. Hello. Thanks for confirming that it works now. Yes, Johannes, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so the sandbox might still have some glitches, and we will, when you find something, we are still doing some final releases on it, so it might be interrupted for some time. So we will let you know if there are major maintenance work going on, but currently we are only doing minor bug fixes, and they might be released while you're using it. So it could be that it gets unstable for some time, but I hope for not too long. Thank you.
Thanks, Johannes. I also see a comment from Vinny that it works on Microsoft Edge, but not Google Chrome.
That should work on Google. Please, Johannes, go ahead.
Yeah, that's something we will look into. So for me, it's currently working on Google Chrome, but I will retest it now. So perhaps there have been some fix, but it should work on the standard browsers like Edge, Chrome, and Firefox. But thank you for letting us know. We'll investigate immediately.
Yeah, and please contact us. You'll have different ways to contact us. You could send us an email at EIOS. I'll put it in the chat. Just to note that we need to update the slide. The help desk, the form that is online in the system is not available in the sandbox. It will start only in V2. So please just contact us by email or log in. You will have this hotline period when you could just pop in, ask your question, and we will assist you. But in the meantime, please, if there is issue, we will try to troubleshoot them one by one. I'll put the email in the chat, but it's the same, the EIOS at who.int.
Thanks, Julie. I see that some people, Marco and Doreen, are confirming that it does work on Google Chrome, but for some people it doesn't. So yes, please reach out to us and we will do our best to support, make sure you have all access. And I see we have another question in the Q&A from Marjok. Apologies if I pronounce your name in the wrong way. Would you like to unmute and ask your question live? Otherwise, also
Okay, yeah, I can answer that. So is the question is about the removing inactive accounts on the EIOS system. For now, you still have to manually inactivate those accounts. And like it was mentioned, to start with, we're transitioning those who were existing EIOS regional WHO regional focal point, and those who were actually doing the community management role. So we're starting to transition them first, and then after we'll give as communities are willing to take on and available, we will give slowly that role to the communities, and so they can manage their own communities, and then do this removing inactive account and inactivating people, removing them from their community. You might see in the sandbox we're trying to clean this up, but for now it's still a manual process, but we're interested, we could set up some rules that if someone has not logged in for X period of time, we can inactivate the accounts. This is not set up yet, but we could envision that. And if you have a team, you said you have new members. For now, I'm not sure which community you are part of. For now, you still go through, if you're a member state, you still go through your WHO regional focal point for that until we transition the community management to your community. And this is also a good opportunity if you want to take on this user management, you could connect with your regional focal point. And once they're transitioned and comfortable with the system, they could transition you also in your community to do that on their own, adding users. But it will be much simpler, the process to add users than it was before. So that's good news. It just will take some time because everybody is now transitioning to the new system. So everybody needs some adjustment time, and then we'll make this available to everyone. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Julie. Yes, I see a confirmation in the chat. Thanks for the comprehensive answer. And we also have another question from Hassan. Can you tell more on Sandbox purpose and how it works? Yes. I think Frank just started typing, so.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But yes, please, Julie.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Sandbox is basically, it's the same thing as the EIOS V2. You log in, you see it. It's just not in production. So we're not receiving articles daily. It's a fixed set of articles. So it's a copy. It's what you will see when you have V2, except for the data. So the community will be your community, your teams will be your teams, but you don't have all the migration of the boards that you had in V1. You don't have new articles coming in. So it's a new, fresh environment, and it will be erased regularly. So what your actions, the actions you're doing there are not retained. So it's a practice environment. It's a duplication of the interface, so you could prepare yourself at, okay, how do I update my SOPs? What's my new flow? Get familiarized and comfortable with it. But the data part of what is retained, it's different because you're not migrating this information. Your activity in production of V1 will go in V2. So when you go in V2, the difference then will be that V2, the real production environment, will have input of articles coming in, will have your history, your boards that were there. It will be the same as in V1, just with the different interface and the new functionalities. So really, a copy, it's for training, it's limited data, and it's erased, so you can't use it for your daily monitoring, but you can familiarize yourself with the flow and the functionalities.
Thanks, Julie. We have a few more comments and questions in the chat. So first from Mark, congratulations on the new interface. It looks very clean. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for joining. Then we have another question regarding categories. Are the categories empty? I'm trying to create a board, but I have to click on the info icon to browse the category of the folder, but I cannot choose.
So this, yeah, I think this is a workflow. So you need to be on the browse tab and then you can search directly, or you click on the folder and you move next. The info icon will be when you have a category and you want to know in which folder is this category included. So I think this is where I would recommend, if you want to click on the user guide, and so there's the waffle at the top, click on the user guide. You'll go to the new user guide website and go in the filter categories, and it will explain you all how to use it. If you want to know more before, there will be also a clinic specifically on category and how to use the category filter. But basically, try to type a search, press enter, you'll see that specific category there, you can select it, or you can browse by clicking on the folders. So not the info icon. But really invite you to look at the user guide. There's GIF and image screenshots, and there's instructions step by step, and join us in the clinic if you need support.
Yes, please bring all your practical questions. There will be a live demonstration during the clinic, so hopefully we'll be able to find answers together for all your questions. And I see Hara is also asking regarding the mentioned geographical areas. She's not able to search for Lebanon. She has to scroll down.
I would have to check why the search box is not working, but again, it's noted. We'll get back to you. It should work. Make sure that you press enter after you type the search, but we could troubleshoot that one. And then the other question that I saw, there was one about, oh, it disappeared.
I think Farah is saying that in the browser tab, it shows 0, the categories are disabled. So could this be user permission?
I think those are really troubleshooting. So there, I think we could look at those that are more specific to troubleshooting some issues with people. But I think it's not like a system issue. Like it's not like how system should work. So we could look at those specific issue, and you'll get back to you. And just as a note, also someone mentioned it that the profile on the sandbox, it doesn't link. Yes, your profile, you should be able to edit it. We could look at the flow. I know that they are updating the link, because when you were clicking on your icon at the top right and clicking on my profile, it was not showing the right link. So they are working on that link. So it may be linked to this. Sorry for, and so if not, you should be able to edit your profile. You click on your profile, and then there should be at the top a button saying edit, and then you could edit your profile and save the changes. So every user should be able to update their own profile, but give it some time, because I know they're updating that link that was referring to the wrong profiles. But we could follow up also with you if that doesn't get resolved.
Thanks, Julie. We also have another question in the Q&A section regarding the access to the written transcript after the webinar. So yeah, we will be recording the webinar. So you will all receive an email with the link to the recording so that you could all access and revisit the recording and see all the information that was shared. And we also have a few other comments in the chat. So from Claire, great version 2. Very glad to see that the animal disease ontology is inspired from the WOA animal disease classification that we shared with you. Thanks for that. We see that some categories are missing levels will be available to contribute fine-tuning it with you.
Thanks. That's always great I know that we have some people at WOA working on category for animal health. So yes, definitely, please contact Farah to continue that work. I think there is a lot of work ongoing, and there's some improvements pending also. But yeah, I think it would be we're always happy to have people contributing to improve the categories.
Thanks, Julie. Yes, our category coordinator, Farah, who I believe also many of you know, she would be very happy to work with you on that. So we have a few more minutes, so please feel free to put in the chat any other questions that you might have, or also raise your hand and we'll be happy to answer those questions live during our today's session. And thank you all for finding time for joining us. We know it's a lot of things, changes, but we are here to make sure that this process for you is smooth and you're on top of all the changes. We have a question from Maria from Plant Health Community. So I got a message saying access denied when entering the sandbox.
We could follow up. That's a troubleshooting. We could follow up with you. It's in the QA or?
Yeah, in the Q&A section.
Okay, Q&A. We'll follow up. I think it could be a issue with your profile, or it's just a link issue. We will follow up. Okay, in QA, I've got it. Yeah, I will check with you and follow up. So again, if you have trouble logging in, you can post your email and we'll follow up with you. And also, I would invite, if you have questions, like we don't expect you now to know everything about EIOS. Of course, there was no demo. This was to put you in context. So we really invite you to explore the system and explore the user guide. That's very useful. It's not just a PDF document of 100 pages. It's really a website that you can navigate easily and find most of the answers to your question. Unless it's really a troubleshooting issue, we could, of course, support you. And we invite you to attend the webinars where you'll go like step by step for the specific topics where it might be a bit more changes. Then you'll have a session dedicated with demos, time to answer your questions. And then you'll also have plenty of time to jump in one of the hotlines. So really not to worry, we will support you, we'll help you. This is the first time we opened the sandbox this morning for external. So it is a bit normal to have some issues. We will help you and make sure you all have access.
Thanks, Julie. So we have a comment from Edson in the chat confirming that Edson was able to edit the profile. So thanks for the confirmation.
Fabulous. This is great.
Wonderful. Then we also have another question from Arafat in the Q&A, asking if we could share the recording of the meeting. Yes, so the meeting is recorded and we will be sharing with you all the email with the link to the recording after this webinar.
And also, you will be able to access those recordings and all the clinics on the new training resource website, which is connected. It's the user help site that you have in the waffle menu. You can see the user help. This, well, it's user guide and training resources. Those are both hosted on the same website. And you will have the webinar recordings accessible there, the clinic recordings, as you add in the previous through the interface before. Now it's going to be really centralized in the user help website where you have resources, webinars, and clinics, and then you have on the other side the user guide. So hopefully you'll have plenty of links to make sure you can find the recordings.
Thank you, Julie. We also have a question from Dorina regarding the sources. So the list of sources in the previous version was supposed to be updated earlier this year. However, I noticed that the sources have not been revised. I also checked in version 2. It still contains the same outdated sources. Could you clarify how the update will be implemented in version 2? So I believe over to Frank, our sources coordinator.
Oh, thanks a lot. Just to note that the V2 is going to include all the sources that you have in V1, and you have also an opportunity to revise your sources while we're doing the transition if there's anything that you think is lacking. So my first suggestion is just write directly to me, kagora@who.int, or through the EIOS mailbox, and we can be able to respond to that. ideally there shouldn't be any difference between your sources in V1 and V2, but there are going to be additional new sources, maybe some that did not even exist in V1, which will be added in V2, which will give you quite an advantage to be able to filter for events and be able to monitor, to do more media monitoring. So if there's something that you find in the sandbox missing, it could also be because it's just a select part of data that is in the sandbox, but it's also okay for you to write to us, and then we can be able to start to look at it to make sure that we're not missing anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. So we are slowly but surely coming to the end of this session. So if you didn't get a chance to ask your questions today, please do join us during the clinics, during the online drop-in hours. We are here to support you. Yes, and
I have yeah.
yes, Julie, over to you.
There's one more question for the
Yes.
last 2 minutes. So from
Okay.
Gianfranco asking about adding articles to existing posts. Yes, it is still possible. I invite you to look at the user guide and attend the clinic because the workflow is a bit different. You need to select, you have 2 different ways. If it's one article, you can create the post directly on the row. Else, if it's multiple, you select them and you will see a bulk at the top action possibles, and you can choose posts and it will create a post linking it with those articles. But the post, the new thing is really they always live on a board, but they can have articles attached. So it's still possible, improve, simplified. Oh, please, you can jump in if you have and you can add external people too, even if they live on a board. It's just a place where they will be stored instead of having them a bit all over the place in the previous version. You could, I don't know how we can unmute Gianfranco.
Maybe, am I unmuted? Maybe, yes. Hi, good morning,
Hi.
and thanks for the presentation. I was wondering, so that part I figured out, but if I create a post and I want to add articles which have appeared since I created the post, is
Also
it possible to do?
possible.
But
Yes.
that I couldn't figure out.
Okay, so you select those articles and you select bulk, and then there'll be 3 options. You could add to a post on this board, you could add to a post on another board, or you could add to an existing post. And this is where you're going to find the existing post. You need to be on the same board though that you were. Yeah. And then you will be able to find that previous post on that board where you add, and it will add the articles to that post.
Okay, yes. Because when you have however it says create post, I think that threw me off.
Oh yeah, yes, there should be create post. Yeah, I see. Yes, it's create post, but then the third option
when you
says
select, then
attach
it's
an
existing post.
existing.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thanks.
Wonderful. So with this, we came to the end of our session. Thank you all for making time to join us. We look forward to seeing you at all the different sessions that we will be organizing in the coming days and weeks. And yes, we are in this boat together and we are here to support you. So please do reach out with any questions that you might have. With this, thank you and see you later.
Thank you. Bye.